This video covers Project 2-4 and Project 2-5. It tells me to log into Terminal 2 as root. For this video, I'm going to log into the graphical interface. You may use your Control-Alt-F2 key as described in the lab, but I will go into User 1 with the password of secret. It brings me to the KDE desktop as we use this in our last lab. I will click on the launcher or start menu and I'll bring up Terminal. You can also find Terminal under Utilities. If you're using the graphical route, you will need to switch to the super user account, typing SU space minus, hitting enter, and using pass1234 as the password. The lab has us enter date, semicolon, space, who, hit enter. The question is, what did the semicolon cause? Well, if we look, we have the date displayed, and then we have the users logged into the system. So the semicolon allowed two commands to be typed on the same line and execute in order. The next few steps are going to use the echo command. They're going to show us certain characters that are not allowed at the command line. Let's type in echo space. This is okay. Notice the command executes. We have no error. Now if we type in echo don't do this, it does not execute properly. The reason, the single quotation mark is a programming syntax. It's meaning to escape out and read text from a command. So if you ever get stuck at the greater than symbol, hold down your left control key and tap C on the keyboard. That will escape out and bring you back to the command line. Now let's try echo quotation mark. Don't do this. This time the command executes correctly. Double quotation marks says read everything as text, including the single quote and the word don't. That way the command will execute properly. In step 6, they have us try another option. Echo don't. However, we're going to put a backslash, that is by the backspace key, single quote, T. Then we'll space out and type do this. This command executes correctly. So we can use double quotation marks, or we can use a backslash in front of a special character like the single quote and symbols, dollar signs that don't print to the screen normally. Do steps 7, 8, and 9 on your own. In step 10, I'll show you the output. If I use single quotation marks, notice I stated before when we typed in don't do this with a single quote, the single quote was to read text. So it works very similar to the double quotes. As you can see, we started a single quote, we ended a single quote, so the dollar sign was printed to the screen properly. Now, step 11. I'm going to hit the up arrow key on my keyboard. It brings back the previous command. I'm going to change the single quotes to double quotation marks. As you can see, double quotation marks did not display the $4. The difference between single and double quote is simply the double quotation marks will not allow, or I misspoke, the double quotation marks allow shell variables to be displayed on the screen. So $4 was not a variable in the system, so there was nothing to display. So the $4 was blank. Step 12, we can use our up arrow key again, taking off the single quotation marks and using a backslash in front of the $. When we execute the command, we notice the backslash in front of the $sign tells Linux that there's a special character following that you should read as plain text and not as a command. So here the output is correct. It says you have $4.50. This lesson tells us that if we are writing a program or script in Linux, that you should use the single quotation marks or the backslash if you're wanting to present information to the user, especially if you're using special characters like single quotes and $signs. In step 13, they have us type echo space my name is, and we use a back quote that is to the left of the number 1 key on most keyboards. We type a command, who am I, and end it with another back quote. When we hit enter, we get displayed, my name is root. The question is, what is the difference between a forward quote and a back quote? The back quote allows a command to execute and its output be displayed to the screen. So the statement echo means print to the screen. So we printed my name is to the screen, and then the back quotes allowed the command who am I to run, and its output was added to the end of my name is. At this point, we're at another screenshot. So you may click the machine menu or use the snipping tool in Windows and take a screenshot. Save it as project 2-4 into the same location that you saved projects 2-2 and 2-1. Moving on to project 2-5, we type the word clear. We hit enter to blank our screen. If you happen to pause and log out, you'll need to log back in as root, either in the graphical terminal using SU space minus, or the terminal 2 using the Control-Alt F2 key. Now we type in a command MAN, which stands for manual, -K CRON. The -K is a switch that means search. So we are searching for manuals that have the word CRON. At this point, you will take another screenshot by going to Machine and clicking on Take Screenshot, or again, use the snipping tool. Save it as project 2-5. You may then submit the 4 graphic files the blackboard. Continuing on with the lab, let's bring up a manual on one of these commands. Step 3 says look at Crontab. So I'll type in MAN, Crontab, and I will hit enter. This brings up the documentation or manual for the command. You may use the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard, page up, page down keys on the keyboard, spacebar, or enter to move forward and backwards in the command or in the manual page. When you're done reading and looking at the manual page, you use the lowercase q to exit and get back to the command prompt. Every command, or just about every command in Linux, has a manual page. Some commands are built into the bash shell itself and are not separate programs. In that case, they have an info page, as in the command date. You may type info space date to bring up information on the date command. I will let you finish project 2-5 on your own. If you have any questions, send me an email.